Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the finale of our Blades in the Dark game titled The Faculty. Um, I don't know what to say for the finale. I've really enjoyed this story with all of you. I'm excited to see how we clean up after the noodle lectures, because there may have been a little bit of a noodle mess. I don't know if that's what you would call
We
it,
spilled our ramen all over.
broth everywhere. But yeah, thank you all for being here today. My name is Jess. This is my channel, and for maybe the last time, I am Sahar, your whisper. Let's go around and say hi to everyone. Up above me is the wonderful Allison.
I am Allison, also known as Disco. Can be found on Twitter @_Discosaurus. And I play Tana, who is the Hound, which is kind of like the ranger class for this game. And Tana is the groundskeeper for the university. And she has an adorable companion dog, who is an Akita named Tachi.
Perfect. And next up is Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I am playing Magda. Magda is the slide. Magda is a doctoral candidate writing her thesis on the ethics of Sparkcraft and has made huge research momentum with this noodle lecture.
And social momentum.
Also, yeah, I mean that too. But also people got hurt, so
That's the less good part.
No one we knew.
I mean, you can't promote noodle ghosts without breaking a few ghost eggs. I don't know.
Well, so to speak, we did kill people, and so in a way, their ghost egg cracked open and the ghost came out.
That's how ghosts are made. When someone dies, the ghost hatches. Yeah. Science, man.
Look, that's just the way that we understand it. When you go to school in Duskfall, they go like, so there's an egg inside of everyone, and the kid is always like worried, like, if I fall over, is the egg gonna break?
Amazing.
It just needs to be more careful.
I mean, it could. It depends on how hard you fall over.
Makes more sense if the egg is up here somewhere, I think.
The egg is your skull. The ghost.
I'm just gonna continue on this egg tangent. No, I'm gonna change it from an egg tangent to introduce our fish and chips expert from one food to another.
They do also make eggs if you want to come by for breakfast.
Basil, please tell us who you play.
I'm Basil, at Lammer Geared, as in like the gear you wear, you carry, on Twitter. And I play Milan Karada, who is the spider. It's supposed to be like the boss, the brains. He's like the friend, but he's like everyone's friend.
He's more like the friend spider.
He's like a daddy long legs spider tarantula. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He eats the other spiders.
Okay.
Helpful for your home environment.
Love it.
And he's a sociology student or sociology graduate studying the effects of our situation, the ghost situation, on the social aspect of Duskfall.
Amazing.
And I'm Jordan at Made of Cartoons on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm the GM of this silly take on Blades in the Dark. It was last week. Usually when I say that, I'm wrong, but we actually did play 2 games in a row. And last week we had our first Blade in the Dark, and I was very, thrilled that a blade got thrown.
2 of them, actually, so it was Blades in the Dark.
I shared a tweet with the group that I thought was appropriate. It was a tweet of an old Tumblr post, and it was, "Don't bring anything to a knife fight. Don't go to a knife fight. Everyone has knives there." And I really thought that summed up our game pretty well, for the most part. So we're gonna pick up where we left off on our penultimate episode. The noodle lecture with Cobb Pritchard, the inventor of the noodle, went pretty well, all considered. The actual event went well. The questions were excellent by Milan, and Cobb defended his ghostly rights pretty well while he was up on stage. And despite some early sabotage attempts by the local news rag to try and make the thing more exciting and more dangerous,
I'm sure he saw himself as a hero.
Well, yeah, he was obviously trying to rig this thing to be a more interesting story.
I was almost like, part of me was like, I almost want to know more about why he's such a dick, but also, I can't be bothered. Like, you know?
You're happy to never talk to him again, is that?
Yeah.
Well, that means I'll bring him around a lot more.
Great, thanks.
That's how things work. But that was skillfully handled, of course, by our engineer and whisper, Sahar. And then everyone in the audience behaved for most of the show, and then some members that had been identified as parishioners, or whatever you want to call them, of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh lingered behind. They had not been happy with what was going on from the very beginning, and began approaching the stage. Fight broke out, and in the end, Sahar summoned the power of every ghost of Charter Hall to help pull Cobb back from the brink of the strange arcane device that the leader was using to try and drain him from his canister. I'm gonna come up with a less sciencey word for that. His house.
His home.
His home.
Yes.
His Pokeball.
Fair. Pokeball.
Please don't sue us, Nintendo.
Ghostball.
Ghost Ball, yeah.
Ghosty Ball?
The Ghost Stay Ball is the shortened version of the Ghost Stabilizing.
Oh dang, yes! Perfect.
There we go.
Ghost Stabilizer,
Brilliant.
aka the Ghost Stay Ball. It's perfect.
Perfect.
It doesn't in that book series, Abhorsen or something like that, then they affect ghosts with bells also.
Oh yeah, Sabriel.
Yeah, Sabriel. Ghost Bell.
Yep.
Triple play on words.
It is so layered that I don't even have the ability to break it down. But I will take credit for creating all of this layered stuff. I didn't do.
This onion will make you cry.
Yes. But as soon as so Sahar, you summoned them all, and then for a brief time absorbed all of the ghosts of Charter Hall into you.
I tried to be really cool and ghost bend, and instead I got possessed for a little bit. It's fine.
You were also cool and ghost bented.
Yeah, remember when Zuko was trying to lightning bend and then he got lightninged a little bit?
Yeah.
It was exactly like that.
You got ghosted a little bit.
Perfect.
Don't worry, your friends are all here for you.
I know.
And for a very brief time, Sahar, you are snipped away from the mortal plane of Duskfall, because you had stepped into the ghost field, and that little snippet was like instantaneous to everyone else, but you actually did have some time. Time stretched on for you briefly while you stood there. There's a lot of professors. Most of them were in their 60s or 70s. They appear to be in their 60s and 70s. A lot of just professors that were tied, obsessed with their research, and stayed behind as ghosts, to continue working on things. Some were students that had died in alchemy lab experiments, as we've discussed before. So a lot of young faces with kind of exploded the hair, blown back, and goggle, the clean goggle marks around their eyes where their eye protection was. Would there have been anything you would want to say to them?
Oh, to the ghosts?
Yeah.
I
feel like
who's talking to the ghost? Just you?
It's just Sahar right now.
I didn't know there were so many of you, and I hope you know that we're trying to make things better for the ghosts of this world. So if any of you ever want to come participate in our ghost lectures, please, just come find the faculty over in the faculty lounge. We have a whole area and lots of good stuff. So yeah, we'd if any of you have anything you'd like to tell us, that'd be great. Please don't hurt me.
So this conversation was happening while you had absorbed them, and then at the end, that's when they kind of all departed.
Goodbye.
And you are knocked back, just from the force of them shoving you out of the ghost field, basically, and leaving you. And that's when you got your level 1 arm there. And now there are two. Wait, there were three members of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh.
There was the big guy who Tawny, you were taking on the big guy?
I think they're just all unconscious now, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, the big guy did catch a
Big guy might be a little more than unconscious.
he caught a knife in the eye.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was also shot too before that, so he had a lot.
Right. The woman that was approaching the stage is unconscious, though, knocked out by Magda, if I remember correctly. Knocked out. Anyway, we're gonna say.
Yeah, that's what I did. Sorry.
Yeah.
She was knocked out with my knockout powder.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had the knockout powder.
And I'll say, for the sake of mystery, the third guy ran while the ghost chaos was occurring. Because well, they don't like ghosts. So the third one has gone missing, and so that's what when you come to Sahara, that's what you see. A bunch of kind of grubby-looking gondoliers have started coming in. They've all seemingly been hiding in the wings, and they start just wrapping up the big guy in basically in like a tarp, effectively, to try and just get him out of here. And
thanks for taking care of that. Sorry about the mess.
The leader of the gondoliers is kind of guy named Liesel says, "Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, you fed us, which is, pretty great. And we've got a lot of different places to chuck a lout like this guy, so I don't think anyone's gonna miss him. What do you want to do with this one?" And she gestures at the unconscious person.
Look to the rest of the group, like
Milan's like, guy's back, like, because like, his arms hurting, his back's hurting. We can't arrest them, right? We can't like put them in a cage,
authority.
maybe.
Well,
is that inhumane?
I
I feel
think
like
yes.
it might be inhumane.
I
But they
think
did try
maybe
to
a little
kill
bit.
us,
I
right?
think
Does that
we
justify?
Go ahead there, Megan.
I think we should maybe confiscate any ghost busting equipment that they have, and then have them escorted off the premises and banned from the university.
Okay. We can. Liesel says we can strip them clean for sure. I mean, they start going through everybody and they find like a couple of text, like small books, you know, like little pocket Bible type things. And but the only piece of equipment they seem to have is that weird tuning fork type device that was capturing Cobb. And Liesel hands all that stuff over.
You all seem a bit more experienced in this kind of thing than I personally am at all.
Don't you run with the Karada family?
Run with is a strong word. Come from is more. It's like we're running the same race, or we start out the same box, but they're over there, and I'm like still tying my shoes.
Right. Well, you know, I guess it's good that you've kept your nose clean there, kid.
Doesn't talk about fudging the number.
So yeah,
didn't talk about the money laundering.
Liesel hands over some stuff, and they we'll bring this one to some place. So I'd like to see them wake up a little disoriented, you know. So we're maybe bring them to a pub or something and give some what's the word I'm looking for? Give some plausible deniability to their even being around here at all. So, and Liesel helps like throw this woman over a person's shoulder, and they all start heading out the sort of back way, the backstage way that they all came in. Unless anyone has anything else they'd want to ask Liesel.
Not Liesel. The other one who helped me go spend. They're gone, right? You said they like poof. They left. They disappeared. They bounced. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to like thank Liesel profusely for like helping us, and you know that essentially like if there's something that we can, if there's something that I can do for you, please let me know.
Well, first of all, I think you all had a pretty good handle on what was going on here. Surprised even me. And second of all, if you can make ghosts, if you can make life or unlife easier for ghosts, then that makes life or unlife, I guess, for the gondoliers easier as well. So just keep doing what you're doing, and we can be back up whenever you need. And yeah, she hands over the stack of things that they've taken off of the churchgoers.
I think we're only interested in their like ghost busting equipment, so they can have their Bibles back. Like,
sure, okay.
I don't want that.
Got a stack of chick tracks over here. Like.
Fair enough. So yeah, it's just the weird arcane tuning fork thing.
Wonder if we can like learn from the arcane tuning fork.
Yeah, can we definitely like we get it, right? They gave us everything.
Yeah, I mean it was lying on the floor, so one of you could pick it up.
Now.
Magda would have probably been the one to pick it up since she was
That makes sense.
Dealing with it.
If we can it doesn't seem to have a mechanism aside from the. Is there a switch? Was it actually a switch?
There was
Or
a
they
switch.
supernaturally turned.
It
So
was
there's a
kind of like
mechanism.
a pen click.
There's a mechanism.
There
we
is a
can,
mechanism.
We can
Yeah,
learn from.
I think Magda just like gives it to Sahar. But I want to check in on Cobb and see how Cobb is doing.
Yeah, I mean he's in the container still. In the now I've forgotten the name, but he's in the ghost ball. The ghost ball.
The ghost ball. Can I like speak to him through the ghost ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just like we don't have to like screw him back into the machine or anything, but she'll just sing to him and be like, "Are you okay? How are you feeling?"
I was feeling a bit like one of my noodles there for a second.
Did it give you any new insight?
Into noodles?
Yeah.
Well, if I was alive, I'd still want to eat them. I'm pretty sure they don't feel the noodleification the same way I did.
Yeah, I think probably. But I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry we couldn't protect you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still here, aren't I?
I just wish you didn't have to experience any of that.
Well, how many noodle makers get to say that they've been noodleified?
I think you may be the first.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to get one of you to write a paper for me.
Unless we make a robot body for him.
He seems to be okay and all there and in good humor.
Good. Okay. Yeah, Magda will like relay that.
A lot of screaming happening in the chat right now. Chanting for ghost professors and
robot bodies.
And robot bodies.
Are we just gonna
we still have that giant suit of armor.
Season 2 just turns this into a mecha anime where we just make giant mech suits for all the ghosts in Duskfall.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you guys want. So the bodies have been taken out, and most of the crowd has left when you head out of the theater, and it's just the dean and the professor researcher from the Duskfall Academy. What's her name? Tarsus. And they're just sort of waiting outside, sharing a last, like they both got a little glass of wine. And the dean comes over to the group and says, "So, how do you feel that went?"
Disheveled, holding my back. I think it went pretty good.
The lecture was a success.
Seemed like there was quite a lot of noise as you were tearing down. Is everyone okay?
Yeah, it was just the pedestal fell over, and we were all trying to. My cousins were being a bit rowdy when they were trying to take down the chairs. 20-year-olds. The pedestal fell over on me.
Right.
That's why you're.
That's why you're so
that's,
disheveled.
and I like pat the back. That's why his back's a little.
Oh, that's nice. Well, as
My
long
cousins
as
never did anything like this before,
right,
but not the trouble making the the cleaning up.
right.
It was
Well,
new
as
to
long
them, the
as-
concept of cleaning.
As long as you know, everything is cleaned up. She kind of leans towards all of you.
I give a nod.
Good.
It's all cleaned up.
You have to break a few eggs, right?
Milan's like,
Duskfall's head researcher, Arlen Karstis, is sort of standing back, and she looks like she wants to say something, but is kind of seems to be censoring herself a little bit.
She was the one that came with the two buff boys that Magda romance.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Eggs and wedge.
They wanted to steal our research.
Yeah.
I think Magda is like feeling a little bit of high from the success, and so she'll go over to Karstis and be like, "Did you enjoy the lecture?"
You know, I did. I've never thought that the inventor of the noodle would have so many profound things to say about life and death. Kudos, Professor Scova.
Oh, I'm not a professor yet.
Well, after this, I can see you moving towards that very quickly.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think lots of people have lots of profound things to say, and I hope we will continue to hear more profound things.
Well, I certainly have to assume this is not the last Geist lecture that you will be putting on.
Oh no, we promised Mr. Welker a whole series. So
yeah, I looked into that Welker friend of yours. Rather unsavory fellow to have involved. Kind of counter to your interests, isn't it? A ghost collector.
I'm sure you recognize the complexity of the situation at hand, and how sometimes in academia you have to
break a few
work
eggs
with unsavory folks.
Mm-hmm.
She says, heavily implying that Karstis is one of the unsavory folks.
Well, we try and do things differently, a little differently at the Duskwall Academy, but I do appreciate that you have to work with the assets that you've been provided. But if you would ever like access to our facility, just a simple letter away. One letter, and we can probably get that arranged. Because I mean, Charter Hall, obviously, I'm a big fan, and the dean and your dean and I have been friends for quite some time. But you know, it's a smaller university and has limits. And I would certainly be sad to see your research stagnate because you didn't have access to the things you needed to continue it. But congratulations, Magda. Truly, an amazing feat. You should be very proud, you and your whole team.
We are. We're very proud. It all went very well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I could use a bath after this.
She looks at you quizzically and doesn't say anything.
Hot bath. back,
right.
sore muscles
Yes.
all over on me.
Yes, yes. Well, you all deserve to celebrate, and Dave. She says something kind of hushed and shakes the dean's hand and then heads out.
Is there like blood on my face or something?
Yeah. we're gonna say there, yeah, that Tana is looking a little. Well, I mean, you didn't really get too beat up, but
I did get hit. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you also like stab a dude? Do you have like when you say blood, is it blood splatter like it's someone else's?
I didn't
Well,
stab a
it's probably
dude.
like-
I threw knives at him.
Oh, okay. So
you
then
shot
that's
the dude and threw knives.
okay. Well, then that's
but
different.
She got like punched in the face.
The shot was pretty close though, so yeah, I probably did get a little splatter.
Well, if it went right through, the blood would have shot the back, right?
I don't have a job here if there's not even a little bit of mess.
That's right. Yeah. you need to make a mess on the ground so that you can keep them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dean would look probably over at Tana. Is just looking you all over and says, there used to be quite a feeling of adventure here in Chowder Hall in the early days. But people kind of get stuck in their ways and keep their noses in books and only really look into things that are easily at hand. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate you bringing a little bit more excitement to the stuffy, and she looks back at her friend who's walking away, and underfunded halls, Charter Hall. That being said, the less corpses we have to drag out of our auditorium, the better. Which I think we'll all agree is, on an academic level, quite fair of me to say.
You started it.
I mean, there will be no corpses if it's not necessary.
Well, as long as it's a necessary corpse, I suppose.
He didn't give us.
Talking didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I feel as though things will only get more perilous for all of us. The deeper we dive into this line of research, I might have to look into hiring some of your cousins as security, Mr. Karada.
I think that they'd like that. They were really excited about that $20.
Well,
they don't get paid.
I'm sure we could.
They don't get paid at the restaurant.
Right. Well, I'm sure we could make sure that the $20 keeps flowing to a few of them. Good work. I'm proud of you. Feeling turns on her heel, fills up her wine glass, and heads back to her office. And then, like, as soon as you're alone, it's like cockroaches after the lights turned out. A bunch of students seem to come out of nowhere and just start gathering up all the food that's left, and they're just like tucking it under their arms and just trying to get out as quickly as they can. And it's just all that's left is a spinning plate on a table. And you're left alone with your thoughts, just outside of this, outside of the place where you've had your first ghost lecture.
I mean, honestly, we've all done the same in terms of the snacks, so I feel like fair enough. Although I kind of would have liked if we had first dibs on those snacks, because it was our lecture.
Yeah, I haven't eaten anything at all. Milan, do you think your restaurant is open?
Now that you mention it, my mom really did want to celebrate after the lecture. I said that we would have food, but I'm sure she could pick something up for us.
Imagine the diner is 24 hours.
Sounds good to me. I'm gonna go get cleaned up. And then I just like walk away.
Okay. You want to go? We said this was in the afternoon or something that was happening. So I guess we'll go the evening. You'll all go grab some food at the Karada, at Karada's Fish and Chips.
Oh man, we're all like so hungry.
Yeah.
Especially after
Like
the
people works up an
adrenaline wears
appetite.
off.
Yeah, like I imagine we just like don't eat or we don't talk at all for like a good long time. We just eat in silence because we're all so hungry and tired.
Yeah, when you get there, Ma Karada has basically been waiting on bated breath to start the fire up the oven to cook things. Obviously, she didn't know when you were going to show up, but everything was ready and then just thrown into the oven immediately upon Milan and the rest of you coming through the door. And within 20 minutes, there's like the first course of dozens that starts being brought out, and it's all like traditional Dagger Isles kind of stuff. Although Sahar, you're a Ruvian, right?
Yeah.
What is like an Eruvian dish that would be surprising to see?
Like a spiced rice with a mix of fruit and nuts in it, and then like a side of like sort of these desert legumes. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's a there's a rice dish that sort of approximates that's been prepared, and Makrata brings it over and she says, Duskfall's fruit isn't so great, but I did my best to try and find some stuff in the night market.
Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. I haven't had anything like this in so long. Can I have some?
You've got like Karadas on either side of you that just start like grabbing spoons and trying to scoop the rice, and Makarada like slaps their hands away and says,
For her.
Yeah. This is traditional food for her. This would be like someone trying to steal your chips.
I'm sure they've got lots of traditional, but the family, like they grew up on the chips, so it would be someone tried that.
Yeah.
and the Karada kids are like, they're kind of like apologizing to you a little bit.
No, it's okay. I'm happy to share. Let me just make a plate, and then I would love it if everyone would try some.
Is there a Skovelander dish? We've been talking about food a lot before the show, so
I love food. I'm so you're making me actually hungry.
I don't really. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know much about. Like I haven't thought much about Scotland while we've been playing, but I think probably some kind of like fish, like smoked fish or something, as opposed to like a fried fish. There's
yeah, okay, yeah, smoked fish. That sounds so. Maybe they bring out she brings out a platter of it's the same fish they use in the fish and chips, but it's a smoked version of
it's just like kind of prepared in a different way.
And lots of like fresh kind of herbs and things, and so there's just like a variety of stuff so that everyone feels at home while they're here. And after you've managed to fill your bellies, you actually have a little bit more energy to talk if you want.
Imagine while we're talking that Tana is just like stuffing like little egg rolls in her mouth and then like pouring like hot vinegar over in her like directly into her mouth as she's eating them like
She's Milan he's just eating the fish and chips. He's like, I like it. he eats mild.
And Tachi's under the table, I guess, probably getting scraps. Yeah.
Tachi's at the table.
Tachi has her own chair.
I love it.
Mhm.
Make sure everyone try some rice. It's really, really good. Your mom did an amazing job.
I definitely take like a big
Yeah.
bowl.
Yeah. And I mean, actually, it should be good with that. If you want to do like some of the sauce, it should be actually really good. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone noticed, but I did kind of I was a little bit in over my head when I was trying to stop the our friend from being pulled in. And it turns out, well, there's a lot more ghosts in the university than I thought, and I kind of saw a lot of them. And I mean, they good news, they seem to be very interested in our lecture. So
That is good news.
yeah.
When you say a lot more, could you give us a ballpark? Well, they don't say ballpark. What games do they play? Could you give us like a soccer field estimate?
Like, just, well, it's just surprising because there were so many in the room. I would say over 100. But I mean, they might have all come for the lecture. Like, so maybe they can't. Maybe some of them weren't from the university. I don't know. But I guess word got out, and there were some, and they actually, I mean, Magda, when you were speaking to them as well, I don't know if you saw them or just heard them, or when you were speaking, they really, they, I don't know, I tried to speak to them, but they didn't speak back. But they seemed to want to help.
Well, that's good. I was really just focusing on making sure that Bob was okay. So I wasn't paying as much attention as I could have been to everything else going on, or other ghostly presences. But um, I'm glad if there's a lot of people at the university who, you know, maybe we can talk to more of them.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a quick second. Oh, Milan, remember that time we were fighting the demon and you and I were holding hands, and then we kind of saw the other side? It was kind of like that.
Except no one was holding your hand.
No one was holding my hand, which is...
Do you always see this?
Not always. Like, sometimes I can feel...
Also, yes, I do get nightmares if you were wondering.
Oh, we should probably talk about that sometime. It's... But yeah, it was usually I just sort of like I can feel like how I felt when we were with the gondoliers, and I could feel that one of them was in fact a departed friend.
You could?
Yeah. I can always kind of just feel that, but I don't always see it. It's only
Which one
kind
was
of...
it?
Sorry?
Which one was it?
I mean, you saw them. It was Griggs. It was Griggs.
Oh.
Griggs was actually...
You had no idea
I guess that makes sense. I didn't follow. He was talking in code. They were talking in code. It didn't.
Yeah.
It makes sense now. Hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah. When they were talking about how they only take bodies with consent, that was why. That wasn't their body.
Okay.
Anyways, the point is I can usually feel, but I don't see unless there's something that takes me over to the other side. and I
Okay.
was over there, and I tried to Magda. I
That
did
was
try and
weird,
invite
guys.
them to come to the lectures. Yeah, it was a lot.
You okay?
Um, I think you know what? I think Sahar mostly looks fine because I think I got 2 harm initially, but it went down to 1 harm, so I'm not too bad.
It's more of your brain kind of being
Yeah.
rattled than it is
Yeah.
like a physical thing.
Yeah, so I don't think I don't think I have any physical like signs.
Milan's got like a big bruise on his
Yeah.
back.
Hana, so the restaurant starts to empty out as it gets a little later, and maybe the food has been replaced with a few bottles of wine or drink of some kind, and Hana, Tachi is sort of sleeping at your feet, but then she wakes up suddenly and kind of starts to make a bit of like a low kind of growl at the door. Just like towards the door. She doesn't leave your feet where you're sitting. I'm imagining the fish and chips place is set up like one of those restaurants where there's just big long tables, so everyone just sits together regardless of whether you arrived with those people or not, you know. So there's just like big long tables that are sharing, and you're sitting on benches. And Tachi starts to kind of growl, and the door opens, and it's Griggs standing in the doorway.
I imagine that I'm like halfway through like emptying the vinegar bottle into my mouth, which is a thing I've seen my dad do, by the way, and all of us were horrified.
Yeah,
My grandma.
my
drinks
mouth is
vinegar
drying
also,
up
so
as I think about it.
It's like
I
it's
believe
it's specifically like a spicy vinegar that you would use with to eat with lumpia, which is like the Filipino Shanghai lumpia, the small egg rolls.
Yeah.
And like
Okay.
I've seen my dad go like and like finish up the bottle, and we're like.
Wow.
So that's what Tana's doing right this moment. She's like drinking out of the bottle of the vinegar.
I'm sure Ma Karada is like the only one who's not surprised to see it.
She probably does the same.
Honestly. The kids are all dusk-vilized.
Yeah.
And so I'm like doing this, and I hear Tachi like start to growl, and I look over.
Yeah.
And then I put the bottle down.
Yeah, and it's Griggs. He back into their physical form, and says, walks over to the table, and they're moving very slowly. You haven't really seen them moving very much, but it is very much like they have to will each leg to like lift and move. So they're not like shambling, but it's definitely very deliberate, every kind of movement. And they come over to the table and say, I don't imbibe anymore, but could I join you?
Of course.
Yeah, come in.
Yeah, I kind of nudge Tachi, like it's okay, Tachi.
Griggs like has to kind of sit down and then swing their legs over the bench and spin around, and you can see there's like a frailty to the way they move. It's sort of like an older man, you know, or older person having to like lift up their leg a little bit because it just with their own hands, because their legs aren't.
Milan instinctively goes over to try to help.
It's fine. It's fine. I have just I have grown too used to being in a body, and exerting myself earlier was exhausting.
Wait.
They were helping me to break the hold on Cobbs.
When they fell on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the part where I kind of got zapped backwards.
I did see that.
Okay. And
I thought that was related to the fall. Sorry.
Okay.
Can't. Normal human eyes.
I was purposefully keeping myself hidden. I upset some when I'm around. I tried to stay out of out of the limelight. I just wanted to make sure that all of you were well.
So to speak.
Did you enjoy the lecture?
Enjoyment was not how I would describe what I heard from that man, but I would say that it was informative and a little distressing.
What did you find distressing?
I have been blessed, I guess. It feels like not a blessing, but whatever had happened to Mr. Pritchard didn't happen to me and the rest of the reconciled. We're ghosts, but we don't suffer the way that the rest of them do. Just to hear a first-hand account like that, well, it racks me with a guilt I have not felt in a long time. I suppose something like a small fraction of what he felt. It's only fair that I shoulder some of it for a brief time.
Well, I'm hoping we can help to make more people, more ghosts have to suffer less.
I'm very interested in making sure that happens. Because I don't want to exist in a situation where so many suffer like that when I am somehow, through fate or what have you, privileged to not.
Are they sitting down? Are they sitting down? Because
yeah, they've sat down with you.
Okay.
So,
you could help with our lectures.
I am old. I have access to resources that I'd be happy to funnel your way. Anonymous donor, perhaps, or silent partner.
We could always use more funding. That's even the dean kind of acknowledges that we're in a bit of a,
yes.
Yes, money, please.
Money, please.
Things are going to be more dangerous the more we pursue this, and protection costs money.
You have an ally in the gondoliers. They have a vested interest in keeping the city safe, and I mean, as much as my word is worth anything, you can trust me when I say that they are as good as theirs. So.
And do we have an ally among the reconciled?
Our organization, if you could call it that, we are as divided as the living, as to what to do, and as what to do with our time here. There are a few of us who are more than happy to encourage your work. There are some that wish to keep their privilege to themselves. And there are plans in motion to change things in rather big ways in Duskfall. Not sure if you are ready to know about them or if it is wise for me to speak of it. As long as you want me to be able to help you, then you probably would rather. The less you know, the better. For now.
Look around at the guys. I feel like we've already kind of crossed a bit of a threshold here. Making some, I hope I'm not understating this, pretty serious enemies with the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh.
They were never going to be happy with what we're doing.
They weren't trying to kill us before.
I imagine they seem to be more interested in Cobb than in us.
But I mean, that may have been before 3 of their members went missing on our premises after going to eliminate our ghost. I feel like, you know, this is very similar to things I've seen before, and no, not me personally heard of, I guess. I just don't think that they're gonna leave well enough alone with us or our ghosts.
That's why we'll need more protection and more allies.
That would be nice. Also, I've been told it's rude to like ask people to come in and let me do tests on them, but if you ever want to come in and talk, I have a lot of questions. Just because, as you're pointing out, you can't even fully comprehend everything that Cobb was saying because it's so unfamiliar to you, and it is, you know, it is relevant to our learning that why you could both have come about from the same sort of existence and exist so differently.
I would consent to being poked and prodded.
I promise to try and keep the poking and prodding to a minimum.
To be honest, I can't feel anything, so it's really not that big of a problem.
Fair
Figure
enough.
of speech, really.
Yes.
But anything I can do to help. You have an ally in me. I can't speak for all of the reconciled.
Fair. That's still something, and we appreciate it.
Some of them have political aspirations.
Oh.
Some of them are less scrupulous about who they possess.
Are you telling us something without telling us something?
Yeah. So what are we drinking? And Greg starts looking around the table. Every few years, I give it another try just in case.
I mean, well, Tana was drinking vinegar, so I don't recommend that.
I'm a corpse, and I think that's gross.
I'm like, it's all gone anyway, so.
But no, I haven't tried it. My mom likes it.
Is there wine? Or...
I mean, pickle juice is really refreshing, and that's pretty much just vinegar. So
yeah, and wine left too long turns into vinegar, and then it's still good for like cooking and stuff. So it's not that far off.
I did not mean to insult. I'm just plenty pickled already.
Yeah, we've got wine. Probably, I think it's probably mostly wine. Like some bottles got brought out.
Mm-hmm. Griggs pours themselves a drink kind of slowly and takes a sip. If I squint and really try and conjure the memories, then I can almost taste it.
Well, maybe not this one. I don't know how long ago you died. This one, my parents.
What was that? What was that?
What?
No. He's like, maybe he's like, maybe not. I don't know how long you've been dead. Maybe you don't remember this one exactly. My parents imported from the Dagger Isle.
Oh. Yes, I imagine.
But he was like halfway through, he was saying, he was like, I guess this is kind of just derailing what he was saying.
I am pretty sure that very few bottles exist from when I was still alive. All wine gets drank eventually. Well, I just wanted to make sure that you survived your ordeal. I'm sorry that I left so quickly. But
well, you arrived just as quickly and you helped.
They start getting arranging themselves to get out of the bench, and they stand up and kind of dust themselves off a little bit and say, it would seem that you have some allies on your home turf. About 100 of them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You saw those too. So, about that. You know, is it, I'm gonna lean in and do like a kind of a like whisper, kind of a like mouth cover, and be like, you know, when you possess a body, is there any long-lasting damage to the body? And would that be exacerbated by about 100 of you at once? Question.
I can't imagine keeping that many spirits inside of you for very long, but temporarily will pass. Any strange feelings you have?
Just a little.
A dead body is difficult. You have to. This body, Griggs's body, must be maintained regularly. A living body, you know, as long as it eats and drinks and sleeps, lasts as long as a living body lasts. With one spirit.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. No, I just keep having like flashes of thoughts that I'm like, I didn't do that. But aside from that, it's fine.
Well, I imagine most ghosts are only memory after a certain time. I can only imagine that, yes, you will see things that you thought that seemed to be from your point of view, but that you never did.
Yeah. It's just a little, you know, mostly I'm okay. Just a little kerfuffled, dizzy, foggy. I think I'm okay.
Choose who you bond with carefully.
I really didn't choose that.
I know. But it seems as though they just wanted to send a message.
That's true. You know what? I'll save this for when you come.
Finish your thought.
Well, you have no additional ability to speak to spirits separately, or do they have to come speak to you the way these ones spoke to me, or?
You mean when I'm not in a physical body?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Most spirits are difficult to speak to, as you have experienced. The same is it's the same for me. I have to use a lot of energy in order to be able to communicate with them.
I mean, I can teach you how to sing.
I would like that.
I just sing to them and they seem to be fine. I mean, as long as they want to talk back.
I would like that because it does sometimes feel like even when I can see them, I can't quite speak to them. So that would be nice.
They are getting ready to leave, and they reach out and shake everyone's hands and say thank you. Cold, clammy kind of grip, but still friendly. And
if that body of yours needs food, you're always welcome to come by the garage.
You know, I can smell a little bit of it. That's how good it is. That's how I know something's good. I can actually smell a little bit. I did want to mention one thing before I left. Sorry, it's Welker, right? Is the guy? Yeah.
Claudius Welker, the collector.
Yeah. If you decide that Welker is not someone you want to be working with directly, I am more than happy to try and help you clean house. Retrieve what he has captured there.
I am concerned about the health and safety of the ghosts that he has. I don't think he sees them as people.
That is my concern as well. Sorry, Milan?
No, I say I highly doubt that he does.
I admit that I thought that at the very least he was keeping them calm and safe, but now that I see how Pritchard felt, and he was one of the captives, was he not?
Yeah, he was.
He was.
He was in that special containment room too, wasn't he?
No, like, he wasn't in this.
No, it wasn't in the special room. Okay.
There's the one right at the end that you saw the darkness in, or whatever.
Okay,
and then there's he was just on the shelves.
He was just on the okay. He wasn't in the special room. Okay.
He was filed under N for noodle or whatever.
Filed under N for.
I think maybe we just not give the ghosts back to Welker.
I think that's a good start.
But
should you want to find a way to get all of them out?
Yeah.
I think that's a good goal. But I think that we're going to have to make a lot more of those comfortable containment fields.
Well, I hope the sudden angel investment that you may be receiving in your department will certainly help with that. Oh, and I almost forgot. And Griggs reaches into his coat and he pulls out a very familiar-looking pistol.
Where did you get that?
I've had my eye on you for a very long time, and I was concerned that perhaps you would not live long enough in order to do that which you wish to do. And I recommend not leaving evidence behind places, and he slides the pistol over to Tana. But now I know that wasn't incompetence, just bad luck. But I've been hanging on to this for some time. 10 episodes back. You'll need it. And then Griggs turns around and
I
starts
like put it into my coat. And like, and I pat it like, welcome home, baby.
and yeah, Griggs makes their way to the door, and it's gone. Not gone. They just left the building, just so that everyone doesn't panic.
Gone forever.
That I didn't murder the
Credits
NPC.
roll.
Yeah. The rest of your evening goes. I mean, I guess you talk and chat and all different words for talking, and maybe this is a good time to take a break. Or half in.
Sounds good.
Tana secretly kisses her gun when no one's looking.
She tucks it into bed at night.
I'm just
tonight.
like cradling it. Like
It's okay. You're with your sister now.
You're back, baby. Don't worry. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break to stretch and hydrate and do all the things, and you should too. Thank you so much, everyone who is hanging out with us for the finale of our Blades game. We will be back in a few minutes. Hope to see you soon. Hi everyone, we are back from break. How are you? I hope you had a good break too. Let's get back into the dastardly do's? No.
The next day comes, maybe there's a little bit of hangover or whatever. Obviously everyone is pretty beat up, or beat up to varying degrees anyway. And as you all wake up in your respective homes, apartments, the Dustfall Tribune is thrown onto your doorsteps, or stuffed into your mailbox, and so you all wake up to a front page headline saying, Charter Hall University dances with death. And then that subheading is like, endangers hundreds.
Did you guys read this? I said, did you guys read this?
Sorry, hang on. It's still a little bit. What? What do you got? Can I see? I mean, there was no dancing. What is this even talking about? This Hicks Danfield person, it's not even accurate. Why would
Anna,
anyone?
I think, in retrospect, you should have caused property damage.
Sorry, what?
I said, Tana, I think in retrospect, you should have caused property damage.
I agree. Agreed. Also, from this point on, I'm only gonna picture Danfield as J. Jonah Jameson. Reminisce.
Alex Jones. I'm coming.
Get me more pictures of the faculty. Yeah.
Oop.
Oh.
Oop.
My yelling shattered the screen.
Yeah. What did you?
Now I also want a pizza pocket or whatever it is you're eating. How dare you do this?
We've all been so thoroughly influenced.
So there's this newspaper. I'm sure Magda would have things to say about it.
I know, I feel like Magda would have things to say, but we don't have a Magda. All right. See, yeah, I don't think we have those. Or we do, but they're anyways, I've definitely mentioned the ones that we had in the house before, and people on stream were like, that's not something we have here. That's weird Canadian nonsense. It was more like anyways, it's more like a calzone, but
You're thinking of Pillsbury. There's the Pillsbury pizza
pops.
Pizza Pops, yeah, in the orange box.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
And there's the McCain.
A Hot Pocket is like trying to be a calzone, so almost the same thing.
I feel like I've eaten a Hot Pocket. I've definitely had pizza bagels. When you have pizza on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime.
Okay. Okay. Well, so what
that's
does
on
it
a
say?
Little ad in the bottom of the newspaper. It's like one.
We all completely like detract from talking about the ghosts because we know Hick Stanfield's full of crap. We really, it's not, those other students came in and stole all the food from our lecture. That's not fair. Clearly, if you hold the lecture, you should have first rights to the food.
I completely agree with you. We need to codify this.
Yeah, we need to draft up a proposal for the whole university. Yeah. This is serious business.
They're all really, it's been days or whatever. They're still very sore about that.
Listen, when you're like a student or student adjacent, or even just living in the, I don't know, maybe Tana's the only one amongst us that's not like hard out for cash. Like, the rest of us are all like broke student or study or doctorate students, anything along those lines.
Can we get on to talking about the food again?
I don't remember. Anyways, because talking about the pizza pockets.
You mentioned
because I was eating a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, and then it came back to us talking about the food at the lecture. Okay, well, what did it say underneath Dances with Death?
It says, Charter Hall University Dances with Death endangers hundreds.
Well, we hardly endangered. Really, we were in the most danger. What? This is. We should demand a retraction. This is hardly news.
We absolutely should demand a retraction. He's full of shit. Sorry for the language.
No, you're right. That's accurate. It is fecal matter. Absolutely. Unbelievable. I don't know how
Tana actually cackles at hearing fecal matter. Yeah.
We should go over there.
I mean, we could. We could. I mean, what exactly? Is that something we can do?
Out of character.
Yeah.
Let's do our last heist.
You're gonna break in and steal all the remaining newspapers? Is
No, we're gonna go in there. It's gonna be like hold on, let me look at what the kinds of heists.
A social engagement?
An information heist.
This is not a.
We actually want to reverse heist. We want to plant positive press for ourselves.
All right, Danfield, you want to dance?
This is gonna be an assault or whatever.
Hey,
we're gonna beat up Danfield with our fists.
With our fists.
I can hear the ocean. Lauren, you back?
I am. Sorry.
It's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
We
you don't control Wi-Fi.
We were just conspiring to break Danfield's
You all woke up the next day to a news
to
the Dustfall Tribune front page saying that Charter Hall University. The headline says Charter Hall University dances with death, and the subtitle says puts hundreds in danger.
Cool. I think Magda looks at that and then asks Tana to write a letter.
Oh, fancy writing, Tana.
Dictate that essentially is written to the head of the Dustfall Tribune and also a copy to whatever the leading newspaper. Actually, no, not to the Dustfall Tribune. Who's the other who's their rival?
Who's the legit paper.
Um,
That's the what? I thought we knew this.
yeah, I thought I had a name for it. So.
Well, we had the ink rakes, but the ink rakes were
Ink rakes are
he
all
was-
are everybody in general in the
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
We'll say that it's the Akarosi Times.
Okay. Yes, she'll write a letter to the Akarosi Times, essentially complaining about the lack of ethics in journalism lately, and just like talking about how the Tribune tried to sabotage their just like a tell-all story.
It's funny because this reminds me of a Spider-Man comic where after Aunt May learns that Peter is Spider-Man, she writes to all of the newspapers, and the ones that are mean about Spider-Man, she says that she's canceling her subscription due to their overly negative coverage
Wow.
of Spider-Man, and then she subscribes to other ones saying I'm thankful for your neutral coverage of Spider-Man, and I will be subscribing to your fine publication.
My God.
Give them the old Aunt May.
Well, essentially, she's just gonna.
We are absolutely no coining the ink rakes once again.
Well, here's the thing about the ink rakes is that they're like the journalist union, right? So
so they're not all bad.
Yeah. It's just Hick Stansfield in particular, and I think we can really let him have it, because remember how he wanted an exclusive coverage? We can promise an exclusive to the other newspaper.
Yes.
So we're gonna not only did it go very, very well, but this newspaper is now gonna have exclusive first-hand news from us. Yeah, we will give them all of our notes, our public notes first. So they are now our official source of ghost knowledge going forward.
Okay. All right. The letter gets written and sent, and we'll see where that goes, I guess. But sure. Couple days later, the Akarosi Times puts out a it's not the front page because Hicks seems to be able to get what he wants around the Dustwall Tribune, but page 6 or 7 in the what's going on in the city kind of section of the newspaper, there is a fairly modest article about how the university has made leaps and strides in understanding, and their wording is our ghost population. And
is there specifically I wanted specifically there to be an article about how the Tribune tried to, or a mention in the article about how the Tribune tried to sabotage it to make it look worse.
The second half of it is that the university is not without its detractors, and it says the reporter Hicks Danfield from Dustfall's notorious rag was seen skulking around the scene, and authorities believe that they personally attempted to sabotage the event for a in quotation marks more interesting story.
I mean, we probably wouldn't want to let them take a photo too close up of our technology, but we could let them take a photo of sort of the room from a distance so that they could get the podium in there, and then let them take a close up photo of the thing that the sabotage piece, be proof that they actually are the ones that put everyone's lives in danger. But luckily, due to the quick work of the faculty and ground staff members on the job, Everyone was safe.
Yeah, I mean, any photos that are going to be in the newspaper are not going to be super crisp.
Good quality, yeah.
No one's going to be able to drop a blueprint from them.
Yeah.
So.
Just in case.
Yeah, so that article, the Times wouldn't probably make a complete slander. Well, it isn't slander, it's true, but they won't completely trash someone in the biz out in the open, but they definitely plant the seed that Hicks Danfield definitely was hoping for a more awful outcome than actually occurred. Hicks was the one that wanted hundreds of lives to be endangered for a better story. So.
That's
yes,
right.
yes. Him.
Good.
When the first article comes out, though, there is a lot of murmur in the university halls, and one particular stodgy professor whose name is so many different note files. Professor Crowell, and he's exactly how his name sounds. He bangs on the door to your office.
Have we had business with him before?
Yeah, he's tenured. He's been tenured for a long time, and he's sort of notorious.
I recognize his knock.
Yeah.
And I open the door. Professor.
Don't professor me. And he comes to the door. He's clutching the newspaper in his hand. Is this true? Were hundreds endangered?
Do you really believe the Tribune?
I trust my fellow professors that were there.
Were they interviewed?
Were
they interviewed?
Sorry?
No.
Asking if they were interviewed.
Asking if they were injured, right?
No, interviewed.
Oh, interviewed.
There are a couple of names in the article of professors, or there's mentions of professors interviewed with no names, I should say, in the Tribune article.
Which professors?
If they want their names to be known, they'll be known. But there's a few of us, maybe in the minority, that are a little worried about what you're doing here. And he's like snooping around in the office.
So, Professor, sorry, go on.
I step forward and I say, no, we did not endanger hundreds. They might have been in danger had Danfield had his way. And I lift up the thing that we took off the stand, because I'm sure we kept it around to research it.
Mm-hmm.
We're we found this, an attempt of sabotage planted by Danfield and his assistant.
You have evidence it was Hicks that did it? How do we know that you didn't just do this to stir up more news for yourself?
If you have concerns, you should take them up with the dean.
She isn't answering any of my letters.
It sounds to me...
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It sounds to me, Professor, that you're acting in a wholly unscientific way. You are exclusively trying to find evidence to support your hypothesis and not to get closer to the truth.
Confirmation bias.
Exactly.
I have been at Charter Hall for 50 years. I know how to science. How dare you? So Scowl is not his name. Crowl is he has a scowl. His sleeves are rolled up, and you can see that his arms are kind of covered in burn marks and stuff, because he's one of the heads of the alchemy department, and in fact he has a bandolier, maybe not a full bandolier, but on his belt he has a few different jars and things that are hanging off, and Magda and Sahar You can see that there is a couple of students, ghosts students, floating in behind him.
I think, Mr. Crowell, Professor Crowell, that if we're talking about endangering people at this university, the alchemy department shouldn't throw stones in glass houses.
Well, these my students, they've made the choice, and also they've signed a waiver. Did anyone sign a waiver at your thing?
They bought tickets.
Is that the same as a waiver?
So you don't. So So what you're saying is that we took safety precautions for our facility, and you don't believe that there was sabotage, but you think that it's perfectly fine and acceptable that your students just die doing research.
That is.
Oh, give me 1 second.
That's different. It's different. It's accidents. You were actively endangering everyone.
Magda is gonna like sing to the ghosts behind him. Be like, did you sign a waiver?
There's like shrugs. They're like, they don't know what you're talking about.
Did he kill you?
One of them like drifts down to Crowell's side and just like points at one of the chemicals that's hanging on his belt. And then while you're watching, he's distracted, but like the ghost manifests just enough to like unscrew the top. And it starts to drip out down to his feet.
Mr. Crowell, can you please leave your chemicals in a safer place than in our office? And she's gonna like point to the chemical like dripping down his.
He looks down. He's like, they're contained. It's perfectly safe. And he looks down and he sees where it's spilling down the pant leg. It's like burning a hole through the pant leg. And then as it gets to his boot, it's just like his shoes. It's just eating through the leather of his shoes. And he says, this has never happened. Who opened this? And he starts to storm out, and he's like shaking one of his legs. And he just quickly ducks his head back in and says, I've got an eye on you.
Yes,
ow,
clearly.
ow, 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 ow. And he like,
Good to know, Professor.
anyway, that's Professor Krell. I just thought I would introduce a foil.
Great.
Yeah,
So now
in
we
the
have
last episode.
I didn't realize just how dangerous the alchemy labs were. But I mean, perhaps with a different professor could be better. Something to think about.
Does Sahar say that?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, maybe he's against us talking to ghosts because he doesn't want the ghosts of all his former students to out him as being a terrible professor who let them die.
Wow.
Could,
they all secretly call him Professor Scowl.
A ghost lecturer. You said there were hundreds of. Remember when we were looking for ghosts?
The Charter Hall University is
the Charter Hall ghosts from the alchemy department.
They were mostly in the alchemy department, so it does make sense, honestly. Like the math adds up, but also we were a little concerned with dealing with people who had died in such accidents. They might not be. Well,
they came out to help you.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I guess, it seems at worst they were just kind of pranking him. That's fine. I'm all for that.
But maybe we can get one of them as a Geist lecturer.
Definitely put it down as, In the running.
Not to be all school politics. We might be able to get him,
Yeah.
So I think what I'd like to do is maybe jump us ahead a month, and I'd like all of you to say what's new with your characters, and also let's figure out what has changed for the good and for the bad in Dustfall since this has happened. Maybe we'll jump like 4 months again, like we did before.
Did we ever? Are we doing like downtime, like the downtime rolls or anything? Or are you just gonna?
It doesn't make sense to do that right now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we could. I mean, you absolutely can take.
Well, I just would like to heal.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we could have healed during that time.
Yeah, no. You can clear your stress and stuff. Like that's fine. As far as this episode goes, like for now we're going to do more narrative. I think for the last little bit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, definitely. Don't worry. You can clear your stress and. I will say that Sahari, that you after time, obviously the difficulties caused by interacting with the difficulties caused interacting with the ghosts are gone, but you still feel their presence a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time that they've just sort of been visible to you and Magda, without having to do like extra work to see them.
Yeah.
So the charter hall ghosts become a little bit more of your day to day.
just walking the halls like student ghost, teacher ghost.
Yeah.
Like
it is not unlike that. A lot of the ghosts are just echoes, they're called, where they just they're more like a fragment of a memory that just kind of repeats itself. The ghosts kind of repeat what they did in life. But you do see them around. But when you're in the library, there are a few ghosts that help with research in a way by drifting books over to you when you're looking for things and that kind of stuff. But
those
it seems
friends.
it seems like and maybe Milan and Tana, you don't see them as much, but you do find when you're on university grounds, things don't go missing as much. You're not things you thought you like keys or something like that, they always seem to be put back in the right spot. And it almost seems like any time that you show an interest in something, a book about it shows up on your desk.
We have ghost friends.
Yeah, I feel like that.
They like us. It's fine.
The local ghosts in your area, I think, would be very pleased about what you were doing. So, yeah. So that generally is something that has happened. So clear out any harm or stress or whatever. Okay. And let's go around a bit and everyone talk about what life changes have happened, and then each of you contribute one good and one bad thing that is developed in the 4 months since the thing. Lauren, you want to go first?
I think Magda, like after all of this, like went really hard into like writing mode, and so has like just been in the office a lot, but like not really talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Sahar's help, they probably like made a few more ghost balls, I would think, to like try and like do some more interviews with ghosts. But I think honestly, she spent 4 months like tied up in ethics, because that's what happens when you try to interview people for your research.
Right. What is one thing that has changed in Dustfall from Magda's perspective, at least, for the better, even if it's just a small thing for now?
I think like I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we can come back around.
I think there are like more kids coming and talking to her about like when she's at church. Like more kids are talking to her about ghosts and like they're less afraid of them.
Okay. Are there things you're doing at the Church of the Weeping Lady to kind of improve the image of ghosts?
No, I think she's just kind of like talking about her research, and so like they're just asking more questions about it, and so like the stories that the kids are passing around are not completely like there are some kids who are still afraid of ghosts, obviously, like things don't change in 4 months, but like there are more kids who are being maybe more like inquisitive and interested about it rather than just scared.
All right, I like that. There's like a little mini ghost hunters club or ghost friends of ghosts club at
there might be a mini ghost hunters club as well.
Yeah. Sure. All right, Tana. What has Tana been doing in this time when it comes to Costa?
Been keeping eyes and ears out for any news of anyone who sounds like Costa. I imagine I'm working closely with my friend Valeris, the spy, who is helping to keep tabs on that sort of news. And I also this involves Milan, but I imagine that Tana has been trading Milan, continuing like their like gun teaching and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And maybe Milan is actually starting to show some real improvement over time. You do get letters. You do get letters from Costa from time to time. They're not signed by her, but you know, 100%. Yeah, but yeah, and each one of them. Well, first of all, would you reply to these? Would you have replied to the first one, for example?
No.
Okay. Each one kind of gets a little more. The first one is real threatening, and then the next one is a little threatening, and then the third one is a little plaintive, like, you know, don't you want to do the cat and mouse thing? Like, isn't that fun? Couldn't that be a little fun? And then, yeah, the last.
She misses me.
Yeah. And the last letter.
The lovers. Oh,
the last letter you get. I know you should Costa and Tana, so. The last
among
letter.
other things.
What's a little attempted murder between lovers?
That's right.
I'm just saying.
No, I love it. It's an excellent trope.
Yeah. The last letter is just, I hope the leg's okay.
Oh.
But then
I give a small smile at that one.
Right.
But I still don't respond.
That's the last letter you get for a long time anyway. What positive things have changed in Tana's part of Duskfall? You know, in a bigger sense.
So I think that like definitely before when she would hit up the more unsavory locations, like bars and you know the casinos and stuff for her vice. Generally the attitude towards ghosts was everyone, you know, they hated them, they parroted off the stuff that they heard, and I think now there's a little more people who are a little more open to the idea of ghosts being like people. And it's not as like immediate of like, you know, talking about how bad the ghosts are and everything like that, like
right.
like, you know, you'll hear like the average person be like, oh, you know, I heard about like that noodle guy, like he like and stuff like that, like, and talking about it as something that's actually interesting to them.
And I imagine you have multiple lectures over this time as well. Like they're regular, so there's more for people to hear about. And one of the bars that you frequent has started leaving out, which is a tradition, like a new tradition as far as you can tell, leaving out like a drink for the bar ghosts.
That's cute.
And you know, there's like 2 or 3 people that sort of make sure that that little glass is full, even though it usually gets drank by, you know, the bartender at the end of the night, you know, because they're not just going to leave it out. But
it's like in the theater, the ghost light, is what we call it, is, I mean, its practical purpose is so that the theater is never completely dark. So if someone has to come in, like, they're not gonna fucking die.
Yeah.
But it's called the ghost light because like the story behind is that you're leaving a light on for the ghosts in the theater.
I like that. It's the ghost shot being left out for the ghosts at the bar, and it's just at your bar, but you know, you hope that kind of travels along. Milan.
Good and bad things. I was thinking that good things would be that maybe he's like somewhat like he's earned Salia's respect. He's like, you know, he's a little cooler. She's heard things.
With the mustache and all.
Yeah, he's grown a bit of a mustache now. He's still carrying on his studies. He's really interested in how things are changing socially after their lectures. He looks he looks a little old, and she probably teases him about his mustache. With the mustache, even though he's only 4 months older, but it adds years. But negative things that I was thinking was that the trouble he was causing with the bill hooks about, like, you know, because of the kids or whatever, they might you know, cause problems for him, especially like after like his name's like he's one of like the names that were on like the papers, and they're like, this guy's not going away.
Has Milan continued his secret Batmaning?
I think not at first, because he was like busy with the you know, the research, and he, you know, but I think that after he had been training with Tana and guns for a while, then he might like start it again. He's very concerned. Like, he's not like, I guess he's very concerned, but he's like he's worried about the kids.
Right.
He's like, how fucking dare you guys?
All right.
He may be a bit more secretive about it, like he may wear a mask or something like that, but they did know that it was him before. So that could it could be that the bill hooks in fact get more turf or something like that as like a negative development.
And as far as your kin getting work at the university, 4 are hired. They're basically just asked to act like students, but to keep an eye, because they don't want people, you know, armed and dangerous wandering the halls of Charter Hall. But even though the Karada kids do have knives, they've always got knives. And Tana, obviously,
they probably try to encourage them to. They're like, yes, you don't, like, they ask if they should bring any weapons, and the guys are like, no, don't bring any weapons. And they do.
Yeah, they always do, yeah. And someone did try and take one of Tana's guns away from her, but then they got the wrong end of Tachi, I imagine. So. But
I have the paperwork that says I'm allowed to carry this.
that's right.
It says I can do what I want.
Yeah, I do what I want.
Yeah, that's all your business card says. And some of them have actually started auditing classes when they're not. Some of them want to follow in Milan's footsteps for the first time. So
Aw.
they
He's cool now. They make fun of him for his
yeah, one
mustache,
of them has definitely said to you, "You're not cool now."
too. He says that like
Yeah.
when they're probably he's like, I'm cool now, and they're like, no.
No, what has been going on with Sahar?
I mean, I think like Lauren said, I think there's some work on the ghost stay balls.
Mhm.
Trying to remember exactly how Basil said it. The ghost stay balls, I think is what we
The ghost stay balls, yeah.
balls, yeah.
But also, I think that she'd be working on the possibility of like she's trying to make like I don't know how to say this, almost like a walk-in closet or like a walk-in fridge, like trying to like ring it with like whatever we do to make it comfortable for them, so that if by some luck of, you know, we manage to pull a heist on what's his face, who has all the ghosts, we can put them in this room and at least it's a little less, like it's a bit of a dampening on the, like I'm trying to make a dampening room so
Sure.
that if like we do manage to save a wide amount of ghosts, we can put them in this room and they're at least a little less in pain.
Bulk ghost storage.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with like a comfortable, like a sauna for
humidor.
ghosts. Yeah, a humidor, like a walk-in fridge, or like, you know, to keep them cool, so they're not uncomfortable. I think that's my larger thing, and like I think she's working on it, and it's like definitely not going super well at first, at least. And she keeps touching things, and she keeps getting like zapped and being like, "What the like?" And it looks kind of like when we were all in the lecture hall and she got zapped backwards. It looks kind of like that, and she just keeps like, "What the heck?" Like, why is that keep
go to
happening?
Adjust the phonograph and you get shocked. And, yeah.
The heck? That's that there's it like, and then goes and does the thing where like, you know, if you like have too much static electricity, you have to touch certain things to like get the charge gone. Like maybe she's been rubbing her feet on a carpet too much. She's like, that's so weird. Ground. Like, why is this happening? So weird. Ugh. And then in terms of bad things that are happening, I feel like maybe my witch friend Quellen comes and is like, hey, so I don't know if y'all heard, but the Dimmer Sisters kind of got this big box a little while ago, and no one did anything about it. And I don't know if y'all remember this.
I do.
Remember we never looked into it?
I remember we meant to.
It was on our list of like, it was on our to-do list and we never got to it. It's like, yeah, you might want to come and like deal with this. Like, it's not. I don't know what it is, but I'm just putting it into the world.
Yeah. Your work is not done.
It was a person-sized crate.
Yeah.
A person-sized crate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say anything bad that happened. So can I say something bad that happened?
You can talk about all the bad stuff that happened. Go ahead.
I said ethics, but that's not like bad. That's just fact of life.
No. I know. I was gonna come back around to you.
Yeah. I think the Lampblacks are like slowly gaining power, like in the area, in like a way that, and she knows because she just keeps seeing Baja around more, like when she goes to parties and stuff, like he is there, or like, yeah, like he's there too. So like as she's been trying to make her way up in society, like so has he. So they just like kind of keep running into each other.
That is bad because that guy's a dink.
Yeah.
Okay.
He sucks.
He does suck. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's definitely something that would probably I mean, you're not criminals, as we've determined from the beginning. So your influence on the criminal underworld is sort of indirect. But I think where I'd like to kind of wind the session down is that you're all at the that university bar that that Magda's friend runs. And Magda, you have gotten up to go to the bar to get another round of drinks or something for everybody. And there is a kind of burly shadow comes across you that kind of leans against the bar beside you and says, "Are you Magda Skova?"
Yeah.
Leans in close and kind of as whispers as much as this giant man can do, and he says, "Ulf Ironborn."
I don't think Magda knows. Like, would she know who Ulf Ironborn is?
Hadn't you heard about him?
Yeah, he like
It's,
you were getting letters. From
It's
his,
one of your clocks.
It's one of my clocks, yeah. I just never know because she's like.
You had looked into him or something, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think maybe she's like heard people talk about him.
Yeah, if you have had any connections with Scotlanders, then you would know. You would have heard of him. You've heard the name at least. And he has a he has like a big mug of beer in his hand, and his hand is like a metal kind of gauntlet.
Oh, she'll say, "It's very nice to meet you. What can I do for you, Mr. Ironborn?"
You can call me Ulf.
She's like looking over to her friends, like trying desperately to make eye contact with one because a strange large man with a metal hand is talking to her.
I lean over to like Milan and Tana, like, "Oh, I think Magda's bagged another one."
Yeah, they like start laughing, and they like wave at.
Yeah, we like give a little wink, like
congenial, like friendly, like, "Yeah, good job, Magda."
I give a like thumbs up and a wink.
Ulf catches your kind of like frantic looking over and then sees your friends waving, and he like lifts up the gauntlet and kind of gives a cursory kind of wave. Are those friends of yours?
What do you want?
Oh, Magda.
I just have come to understand that you can speak to ghosts.
I just sing the old songs.
And you give them, according to the papers, as are read to me, you can keep them comfortable.
That's part of my research. Yes.
Am I making you uncomfortable, Magda Skova?
It's just not every day that Ulf Ironborn comes to hell.
I know. I don't tend to be. I haven't set foot on university grounds my entire life. That's for sure. Barely can rub two words together. Sorry, Lauren?
No, I think she's just kind of like nervous because she's just like, I don't know how I could help you.
Well, I've got a ghost that that needs comforting.
Okay. I'd have to talk to my team about it.
Well, I'd happily buy them around.
I think they would like that very much.
he like holds up his hand, his gauntlet kind of hand, and opens like a compartment in the back of it and pulls a bunch of change out and closes it and puts it down onto the counter and gets or the bar and gets another round. You're dressed awfully nice for a Skovlander.
I thank you.
Just, you seem to be half in, half out. You sing our songs, but you walk amongst the Akarosi wearing their garb. I just had an eye on you for a time.
I'm sorry. I grew up here.
Well,
I grew up in the church with my mother. I mean, my name is Skova. Like, it's the most generic Skovlander name you can get. I don't know much about. I don't know much about what it means to be a Skovlander, I guess, other than what my mother taught me. I'm sorry if I'm...
Well, then I'll say it's nice to hear the songs from time that they're being sung from time to time. I think I'll finish my
walk over.
Sorry.
I was if the scene's over.
No, you can come up if you want.
Milan does walk over, because
it has been a bit of time, and Magda's just standing there holding the tray of drinks.
Yeah,
basically.
he like takes a drink off the tray. He's like, "Hey, you Magda's friend?"
Go ahead.
As soon as she sees you, she like just suddenly like you can tell she's like relieved you're here, Milan. She's like, Milan, I'm so sorry. Ulf Ironborn here is going to buy us a drink.
Oh, then I don't have to savor this one.
You chug your booze. Yeah, class act all the way. I feel as though my accent is all over the place. I feel as though that I may have intruded onto your friends and you. So I think.
No, it's okay. You said you.
I think my reputation has preceded me somewhat, and maybe I shouldn't have come. And he starts to go.
No,
buddy, I have no idea who you are.
Mr. Ironborn, it's all right. You have to understand.
Ulf?
Yeah.
So like in that Beyonce? Ulf?
Magda has already introduced him as Ulf Ironborn, but yeah.
Well, it's okay. He can have like not noticed, and
that's fair. Yeah.
Again.
He just chugged his drink, so who knows where Milan is at right now. Well,
you haven't talked about this guy in months.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
about Magda? You haven't talked about this guy in months?
Yeah.
I like honestly do not remember ever knowing Ulf was.
No, you didn't know him.
Yeah.
You were like,
you knew of him. That's all.
You were trying to put out feelers relating to, I think it was like a Skovland ghost or something.
Yeah.
That was it. There was an Ulf Ironborn related.
I think he just like heard about me, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That he had heard about me. So this is kind of out of the blue for her. She's a little bit. Yeah. I think she'll try to explain that to him. She's just like, I just didn't know that you were interested in my work, and I wasn't expecting to talk about it. But if you'd like to talk about it, you should come sit with us and talk about it all together.
I could stay for one drink, but you'll have to talk slow. I'm not someone who follows the ins and outs of things so quickly. He's got like kind of a big fur coat on that he like takes off and throws over his arm to try and weave his kind of very large body through the very packed room, and then there's a creak in the chair as he sits down because he's just big. My name is Elf Ironborn. I could say I'm interested in your work. I should go. And he like starts to get up.
No, sorry.
What exactly are you
now.
interested in? We do stuff.
Out of character.
Ghosts? You're interested in ghosts?
Yeah, I'm giving you one last hunk. You're welcome.
I can't believe you did this to me.
Did this for you. When I was forced to come here, my sister came with me. Ola. No. Ulf and Ola? Yeah, that's fine.
It could be she could be Helga.
No, I was trying to avoid an Olga and a Helga, and I came up with Ola. Ola
Una?
Ola's fine. We're go with Ola. She didn't survive the trip. But I feel her with me sometimes. This is I don't talk about these things.
Can I like look behind him? Is there a ghost like hanging out behind him? Since he's saying like literally he feels his sister with him.
You'll have to roll in a tune for me.
Do it. Gimme.
You can just don't worry about the difficulty, just roll a whiskey standard.
Tune. Whiskey standard, no dice, funk. A 6! Whoop, 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 whoop.
What do you do to kind of get in touch with his part of the ghost field? Do you grab a hand, or do you like put a hand on a shoulder or something? Because you'll need to like tether yourself to it a little bit.
I really wanted to just boop his snoot, but I shouldn't do that. He's big and scary. It's probably not good to snoot boop people.
Maybe all Ulf Ironborn really needs is a real snoot boop.
A real snoot boop. I'm gonna because since I said I was leaning to look behind him, I'm gonna literally like put a hand like almost as if I need to like move him to look around him, and in that way sort of I'm touching I'm specifically trying to do the hand that's like I'm putting one hand on the part of his arm that's still flesh and one part on the part that's metal, if that's possible.
Sure.
And then like kind of looking behind him to see if there's anyone there.
I like that he is now 11 feet tall.
Yeah, he's well. I actually
his arm is so big that there's like
yeah, it's like the trunk of a small tree.
Yeah, exactly. Hunk of a trunk.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. Because what I was imagining that we were still sitting and he had just come over. So from my perspective, he was standing and I was sitting. So I'm literally doing that. It makes
sense to me. It's fine.
Yeah, he's at least 9 feet tall. Be reasonable.
Yeah. You can't have a last name Ironborn and be short.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. There is a wisp of a mote of electroplasmic energy that seems to be hovering around him.
So it doesn't seem to have like full corporeal form. It just has like a little.
Yeah.
Huh.
and it kind of just drifts around his head and his upper body.
I like follow it with my. I like do this. Huh.
When you do that, he pulls his arm back, and instinctively the other hand like reaches for a weapon.
Yeah. And I just point and I look at him and I nod.
Did not come here to be mocked.
I look over at Magda for help. I'm like, help! I've peopled bad again. Please.
She was just looking to see if her sister was with you. Right now.
What did you see? What did you see?
I look at Magda with like, like not full corporeal form.
Oh, real.
Not like a body.
Well, of course, I would notice a body followed me around.
No, that's not necessarily true, actually, because there's a lot of ghosts that maintain a somewhat still humanoid-looking form.
Humanoid.
Like a person.
I translate like sometimes ghosts are like solid and like look like a people, and other times they're like
look like a people.
Kind of there. She's saying this is the latter,
Right.
not the former.
I want you to enjoy your drinks tonight. He like grabs some more money and puts it on the table. I appreciate you trying to help. I shouldn't have come.
Well, don't be a stranger. You should try. Wait, if he's is he leaving?
Well, he's gotten up from the chair again, and he's
don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I think Magda will like stand up to see him out, and she'll like be like, I mean, she was obviously very nervous about him just like approaching her.
Mm-hmm.
But now that she knows that he's like not trying to hurt her, she's probably like a little like more on edge since she's seen her ex around a whole bunch lately.
I will say, Lauren, that he's so big that he may account for 1/12 of the population of Duskfall.
Himself.
And she'll say, please come to our office sometime, and we can set up an appointment and look into this. I of course want to help. I apologize for my awkwardness when we first started talking.
Talking is not my strength. So I understand. I'm far, far, far out of my wheelhouse right now. She and I were going to make waves in this city. Now I'm adrift without her. It was nice to meet you, Magda Skova.
I'm sorry. My brain, like Lauren's brain, has stopped working. Magda is not as awkward as this, and she'll say, "It's really nice to meet you too. I hope that we can help you."
And if you'd like to spend time at a real Skovlander bar, well, stay in touch.
Okay.
And then Ulf Ironborn makes his way out into the Duskfall evening.
If Magda comes back to the table, I'm gonna apologize for making her friend leave with my weird interaction.
It's okay. I'm not sure if he is my friend. He's just like a really well-known Scotlander, and I don't know if he likes me. I'm only half. I don't know. He said some weird stuff, but I would like to help him.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. We can
Yes,
definitely.
we'll have to learn a little bit more about this weird stuff. Was it more than just his sister? Which I do think we should help about.
And the door swings open one last time, and a familiar face they haven't seen in a while comes in. It's Fitz, the person we started everything with. And it's the same expression on his face as the first time we were introduced to him, which is abject fear. He's terrified about something, and he sits down and he grabs a drink from in front of one of you and he tosses it back. And he says, "I've done it again." And I think that's where we'll end our session for today.
Oh.
Oops, I did it again.
Oops, I did it again.
Oh, Fitz. And then the like laugh track comes in.
It freezes on him being like this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the music plays us off.
Yeah, that's this has been another episode of That's Our Fits. I just wanted to full circle it there.
The credits roll over the still of Fitz making the face.
Yeah. Way to take all the air out of the ending. Yeah, I think that's where we'll wrap it for now. For now.
Question mark?
I want to thank everybody who's tuned in to watch over the past 11 sessions, and I want to thank all my players for playing this game and also bearing with me as I adapted it on the fly to fit our narrative a little closer, which has been a joy actually to do. I'm not complaining about it at all. And yeah, we've been talking about it, and there is an inkling of a chance that we would come back and play some more because we all really like our characters and want to see more stories in this world. So yeah, stay tuned to go_JG for news of that.
And I guess with that, let's go around and say goodbye to everyone. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, what you're up to, and something about this past season, like something that you really liked that happened, or you did, or that you just liked from the story. Anything. I'll take it. Tell me one good thing about the season, and we have to go backwards, starting with Jordan.
Jordan at Made of Cartoons. You can see me here every other Saturday. You did see me here every other Saturday playing Blades, and I'll be here in 2 Saturdays with our session 0 and 0.5 of Heart. I'm very excited. A spooky game about weird things. And it's like picking your favorite kid because we've had a lot of good moments.
As I said, anything.
I really liked everything on the boat, the break into the boat, and Tana's showdown on the docks. Very dramatic.
Wait, hang on. We still got the purple people eater. I'm putting him on screen.
Oh, yeah. Lauren's excellent drawing of the purple.
Yeah, look at this. Eater. Amazing. The purple people eater eating green people.
I don't even remember the context. I guess it's because I drew purple people as the dots. And I liked the interactions with Welker and meeting and seeing all the ghosts. That was a fun one too. Oh, and then I was very proud of our Geist lecture. I think it built up to a good thing.
Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Amazing. Next up is Basil.
Hi, Basil. I'm at Lammergeared on Twitter. I do art. I draw hunks. My favorite part, I think, was really whole thing. I feel like our characters kind of like they were colleagues before and they're friends now. And like they were friendly before, but they're friends now, and that's meaningful to me. I feel like if we do anything more with this, then it'll be a really good place to like jump off of, with them being more familiar with each other and with each other's capabilities, and just like they've worked well together. There was some hand holding, gun practice together. There was dinner. There was just so much good in this. There was the boat scene. Sorry. Anyway, that's me.
It's very good. Amazing. Next up is Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm Grail_nice girl on Twitter. I'm starving Cigarette on Twitch and YouTube. I'm starting a cool thing on my Twitch channel. This is a fresh, exclusive announcement for this channel right now. But starting on Monday, I'm going to be playing Transistor, the video game, and I'm going to talk to Dylan Grinder of Heartheld Games about the game he just published called Become, which is inspired a lot by Transistor, among other things, and is one of my favorite games in the whole world. So he's gonna watch me be very bad at a fighting game, and we're gonna talk about this game, and it's gonna be fun. So definitely check that out. We're gonna start at 4 p.m. EST on Monday.
Really cool.
And also, I am the co-creator of the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, which is nominated for an Emmy. Today is like the last day of voting for Emmys, and it would be a really big deal if something related to safety tools won like one of the biggest awards in tabletop gaming. So I would really appreciate your vote. I think my favorite moment, I mean, like I said, it's very hard because we had so many good moments. This was such a good campaign, and I really loved the way we like went from just like petty theft to like trying to change the world. But I really liked the moment when we all went to Magda's church, and like talked to the kids about like their lives, and Milan got really emotional, and we ate lasagna, and it was just like a really nice time of all of us being up together. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want lasagna.
That's perfect. That's amazing. And yeah, I've put the safety dance command in the chat, which means that the safety tools are in there. Go check them out. But also, like Lauren said, this is the last day, so go vote for the safety toolkit in the Ernie's. Go do it now. Go do it today. Right now. Next up is Allison.
Hey, I'm Allison, also known as Disco. I can be found on Twitter @_Discosaurus. I've had a blast in this game, and yeah, it'd be really cool if we're able to come back to it. Not up to anything really otherwise at the moment, but I'll keep you updated if things come up. I think for me, some of my favorite parts in this has been anytime the Karada family has appeared. I just love that whole dynamic of like crime family, but like they're just good goobers.
Best crime family.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to channel the parents of the parents of someone in like a difficult to understand field, and them just being supportive even though they have no idea what you actually do for what you actually do for a living. So that was fun to channel that with the Karadas. So from personal experience.
I love it. Amazing. Yeah, and my name is Jess. This is my channel. If you were watching this right now live on Twitch, I put everyone's information in the chat. If you watch later on YouTube, you can find it down below. Find all these people and all the cool stuff they're up to. I've linked the game and the designer of it, who is also very, very cool. Check it out. I want to thank Roll20 for their Spotlight program. I mean, Jordan, thank you for running this awesome game and making this super cool map in Roll20 with all our cool tokens, with beautiful art by Basel. Look at all this. So good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've got the color update, which I put off to the right.
Oh, you did?
I just dragged the picture.
Oh, look.
You've been looking at Magda's lovely face in full color this whole time, but we got them fully colored in. So
they look amazing.
Basil, throw some money at Basil and he'll draw you some hunks.
Do it. You need hunks? We got hunks. We got hunks. We got chunks of hunks. So many hunks. We don't know
hunks on hunks on hunks.
Hunks on hunks on hunks.
Hunks all the way down. But yeah, I just want to thank Jordan for running this game and all of you for playing. This has been totally awesome. And yeah, we definitely need to talk, because if folks are open to it, I'd love more of these stories. It's been so cool to play this modified version of Blades in the Dark, where we still have, you know, where we're kind of heisting for knowledge, but also changing the world to be more accepting of ghosts and all this different stuff. It's been
heisting for knowledge. I like that.
Heisting for, yeah.
That's on the Charter Hall faculty. It's written in Latin or whatever. Written in Latin on the school crest.
Like there was the actual school crest, and then Tana with her fancy handwriting like wrote over it like our updated motto.
That's our club motto. If this was an anime.
Exactly. Amazing. Perfect. I love it. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. My name's Jess. This is my channel. You can find me at go_JG on Twitch and Twitter and Instagram and basically all the places. All these videos I do clean up and put over on YouTube, where you can find lots of different it's basically all TTRPG content over there. Over here on Twitch, we do a variety of video games and tabletop role-playing games, so a little bit of everything. And I think my favorite, I think everyone kind of touched on all the same like favorite things. I think one of my favorite thing is everyone's thing with, like, everyone had a thing with Milan. Do you know what I mean? So literally, like, Tana and Milan not only did the gun training, which I think already got mentioned, but they also would like I don't even think Milan would gamble, but Milan would go with Tana to support her gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Milan, like, literally just one of my favorite moments is the fact that we held hands. We held hands, and then we went into the ghost field together. And then the sweetness of like Milan at Magda's church and being like, this is good good people, this is good family all here. Like, I feel like bursting into tears from all the sweetness and the love. It makes me so happy. But yeah, this was great. Thank you all so heckin' much. We'll go raid another channel who's also playing some TTRPGs, because we always love to go show the love. But all y'all stay good, stay safe, keep your eyes and ears open, and we'll announce if there's any future faculty to come and when that may be and what that might look like. But in the meantime, I guess it's time for us to lay low after another successful ghost heist. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to change the heist starting soon to maybe something a little more
knowledge-based. Well, it's still something. Thank you all so heckin' much. Heart your heckin' faces. Hopefully we'll see you again soon for more games.
Thanks for watching, everybody.